Donald Trump's Nobel Peace Prize goes to Hunter Biden.
Mr. Reagan.
So Trump was famously nominated by 4 separate people for the Nobel Peace Prize this year. Had he been awarded the prize, it would have been particularly significant, as he's been smeared by the international media ever since he announced his candidacy in 2016. It's also well known that the Nobel Committee members are mostly politically left. Just being nominated was a surprise given these prejudices. Keep in mind that you can only be nominated by people officially chosen by the Nobel Institute to do so. For Trump to be nominated 4 separate times, that was newsworthy. But how left is the Nobel Committee? In 2009, you probably remember, the Nobel Committee famously awarded the prize to Barack Obama. This was extremely controversial because Barack Obama hadn't done anything. The decision damaged the reputation of the Nobel Peace Prize significantly. The award is meant to go to, as stated by the Norwegian Nobel Institute, whomever in the previous year, quote, shall have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congresses. Okay, that sounds great, except Barack Obama didn't do any of that. What is the value of an award signifying that the recipient has achieved some significant progress toward world peace if you can get it despite never having done anything toward world peace? I mean, this was considered, before Obama was awarded the prize, this was considered to be a highly prestigious honor. Obviously, this decision made many people around the world sit up and say, well, that award doesn't mean anything. Now, over the years, there have been many controversial recipients: Gorbachev, Yasser Arafat, Al Gore, and the European Union. But none was so controversial as Barack Obama, because at least with the previous recipients, some argument could be made to justify the choice. With the Obama thing, nobody could defend that. They just gave it to him because they wanted to. That's it. Even the former secretary of the Nobel Committee, Geir Lundestad, eventually came to regret the decision. In his memoir, he wrote, "No Nobel Peace Prize has ever elicited more attention than the 2009 prize to Barack Obama. Even many of Obama's supporters believe that the prize was a mistake. In that sense, the committee didn't achieve what it had hoped for." The secretary explained that the intent was to, quote, strengthen Obama. But why would they want to do that? What strengthening did Obama need? And why did the committee feel that it was their place to try to do that? There are many people around the world who do great deeds and make great progress toward peace in various regions of the world. You're going to take the opportunity you have in order to bring attention to these amazing people and these amazing accomplishments in order to strengthen Barack Obama? I suspect that this decision was influenced by the insane international news media who basically paint American conservatives as a bunch of dangerous rednecks who lynch every black guy they see. This is one of the great dangers of a lack of ethics in journalism. People live in these false realities and do stupid things like this that make no sense whatsoever. Now, after the Obama disaster and the secretary's remorse, one would think that the committee might have learned a lesson. They might have realized that they should stay out of American politics and simply present the award to the most worthy candidate. In 2020, that candidate was very clearly Donald Trump. In an article about this, Mary Kay Ling wrote in the New York Post that unlike any laureate before him, Trump has attained all 4 of the criteria that Nobel laid out in his 1895 will, which established the Nobel Peace Prize. You know what? I didn't actually know that. Most Nobel laureates have fulfilled at least one criteria for the prize, Obama being the notable exception. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, fulfilled all 4 criteria. That is astonishing. So why was Trump denied the award? How was Hunter Biden acknowledged instead? All that in one moment. First, I have to sell you something. Collagen is critical for the body. 70% to 90% of your skin, joints, tendons, and bones are made up of collagen. Your gut depends on it. Even your hair and your nails contain collagen. But after 20 years old, collagen production decreases by about 10% every decade, which is why I started taking Ageless Multi-Collagen. It's so funny that everything that this company has asked me to sell is something that I had already been taking, but obviously I was buying from other brands. But the stuff that the guys over at BioTrust provide is way better. So this is like a match made in heaven for this channel. But genuinely, I did my research, and I recognize this as a critical supplement. And I have some joint issues, so this is particularly important for me. Now, if you want to be healthy, definitely buy this stuff. I add 1 scoop of it to my coffee in the morning along with Keto Elevate, another excellent product from these same guys. Now, Ageless Multi-Collagen works by providing powerful nutritional support that promotes skin, hair, nails, joints, bone, teeth, and gut health. And as I said, for me, joint health is why I started taking it, but it has a variety of other benefits. Now, this is premium stuff. This is the best collagen that you can buy. There are 5 key types of collagen that you need to optimally support an array of full body benefits, and you get all 5 in this collagen mix. There are no GMOs, no fillers, no artificial ingredients. It's tasteless, odorless, and it mixes smoothly. And with every order, BioTrust donates a nutritious meal to a hungry child through NoKidHungry.org. So that is very cool. It's like you're supporting the channel, you are giving to charity, and you are improving your health all at the same time. It's fantastic. So get Ageless Multi-Collagen for 51% off plus free shipping by going to healthwithreagan.com or by clicking on the link in the description below. Trump has brought the troops back home from Iraq, Afghanistan, and even Germany. He sponsored peace negotiations between Serbia and Kosovo. Trump has reduced tensions between the United States and North Korea. And most importantly, Trump facilitated peace treaties between Israel and several Arab neighbors. This is something that has been attempted by, I think, every president since World War II. And they have all failed. Only Trump managed to get this done. So who did the Nobel Committee award the Peace Prize to? They awarded it to, get this, the World Food Program, a charitable organization, a charity, a nonprofit, a group, an organization. Now, apparently the World Food Program is the world's largest organization in the world, specifically aimed at combating hunger. It's a charity. There are tons of charities. Giving it to a charity is a total cop-out. And this charity, it isn't even that amazing. You know what's saved more people from starvation than the World Food Program? Capitalism. Capitalism has drawn millions of people out of poverty throughout the world. And you know what makes the World Food Program even possible? The donations it gets from people all over the world who have made money through capitalism. So if we're giving the prize to charities, why not just give the prize to capitalism? It's more deserving. Giving the prize to a charity seems like an intentional waste. Like, Trump deserves it, so let's make a point of not giving it to him by giving it to no one. Like an especially vicious snub. It's actually far worse than that, because this particular choice, I believe, was a very calculated rebuke of Donald Trump, and it was an endorsement of Joe Biden by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. You see, Hunter Biden was the chairman of the board for the World Food Program USA, which is the American affiliate for the United Nations organization. Seems like kind of a strange coincidence. Trump is nominated 4 times. 4. And then an organization associated with Hunter Biden is also nominated? Seems a little weird. And then Trump is clearly the most deserving choice. I mean, obviously, everyone understands that, hands down. Even people who don't like Trump can see that's true. And yet the committee chooses the Hunter Biden organization instead? This is a clear message. I mean, honestly, there were a lot of people that were nominated that were kind of famous and that everybody kind of thought would win. Like Greta Thunberg, people thought maybe she would win. This organization is a bit obscure. Like, not a lot of people know even what it is. So they would have had to have a very specific reason to choose that organization as the winner. And to me, this is a clear message. The Nobel Committee clearly want Joe Biden to be the next president. So they're sticking their noses once again in American politics. It's like they learned nothing from the Obama fiasco. And this time, they look like even bigger fools. The recipient of this award was chosen obviously before the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden corruption story blew up here in America. Now that it has, and especially if Hunter is arrested for some of the inappropriate photos on his laptop, well, the Nobel Committee are just going to look like total morons. I mean, I already look at leftist voters here in America and I just shake my head in disappointment. I mean, if people would just pay a little bit of attention to right-wing media, then they would know what's going on. I was reporting about Biden's corruption ages ago, so were many others. Even the New York Times reported on it. In nominating an organization associated with Hunter Biden, the Nobel Committee was clearly trying to sway the American vote in favor of Joe Biden. But as sinister as this is, it wasn't even an effective strategy. First of all, no one in the United States cares what a bunch of Norwegian politicians think about the American election. And furthermore, They're not really telling us anything we don't already know. We know that you hate Trump, Norwegians. Everybody in Europe hates Trump. We get it. You're all crazy leftists, and you're being fed a steady diet of fake news. We know. You don't have to announce your indoctrination by awarding prizes to the kids of Democrat presidential candidates. So by snubbing Trump and recognizing Hunter, you did nothing except make yourselves look like a bunch of a-holes meddling in someone else's election. And since the Hunter Biden-Joe Biden corruption scandal has blown up in the news, or at least in the conservative news, you've also made yourself look like fools. And I'm sure being confronted with all of this, the Nobel Committee would deny it. They would say, well, this has nothing to do with Hunter Biden. This was merely the most deserving nominee. But we all know that is horse. The truth is, Europe is in trouble. Leftist policies have been submerging Europe deeper and deeper into a mess that they may never get out of. There are, of course, some good conservatives in Europe, but they're the minority, and it's a shame because they're the true victims of Europe's decay. They didn't choose any of this, and yet they have to bear the consequences. Consider the situation in France. You heard about the recent beheadings, and finally, French media and finally, French politicians are naming the aggressors as Islamic terrorists, but it's taken them a long time to do this. French politicians have chosen to follow the lead of Germany and Sweden and the UK to virtue signal, to open the borders to tens of thousands of Muslim immigrants every year. Europeans have a similar guilt complex as we Americans. Our guilt is born of slavery, theirs colonialism. And so the politicians and the journalists, they defame white people and they praise everybody else. They're just like us, say the politicians and the leftist journalists about all the immigrants. But they aren't all just like us. Throughout most of the white countries, including the United States, we have this illusion that our values are universal values. That is, that everybody throughout the world recognizes things like racism is bad and homosexuals should be respected. But these are actually extremely unusual cultural values. If you have a country full of culturally accepting, in fact, culturally curious people, and these people invite into their country so many people of other cultures that the original people eventually become the minority, then they will eventually have to conform to the cultural values of those they've invited in. It's like inviting in a homeless person to sleep in your guest room for a week, and then another homeless person to sleep on the couch, and then another, and then another. Pretty soon, the homeless take over your house, and you're a guest in their home. And you might think that's awful to equate refugees with homeless people, but the metaphor is totally appropriate, and this is why. You wouldn't want homeless people in your home because they are dirty. If you're a clean person, that's a value you appreciate. You appreciate cleanliness. In the same way, you wouldn't want a Muslim from an intolerant culture in your country because racial tolerance and respect of women and tolerance of sexual preference and all those things, these are Western values that you respect. You wouldn't want your country taken over by those who do not share these values. It would change the culture of your country in such a way that your values would suddenly disappear from the culture. But that's the direction in which Europe is headed. We all saw the tragic burning of the Notre Cathedral in Paris last year. Watching that magnificent structure dedicated to God destroyed in the way that it was, to many, it was devastating. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that this might have been an act of arson committed by a Muslim who wanted to destroy this great symbol of Christianity. Although this has been denied by many and no official cause has been declared, I think it's extremely likely. What you probably haven't heard was that in recent years, there's been an epidemic of church burnings throughout France. Beautiful historic churches, some hundreds of years old, are being desecrated. They're being burned, looted, and vandalized by Muslim immigrants. Even crosses on the tops of mountain peaks are being desecrated. There are about 1,000 anti-Christian attacks in France every year. 1,000. That's about 3 a day. And the number is growing year by year. France, of course, has a long history of devout Christianity, mostly Catholic. This has left the world with a massive collection of historical treasures designed and built to the glory of God by adherents of the Catholic faith. In the West, we take great pains to show respect to all religions, all cultures, all ethnicities. In most other regions of the world, they take no such pains. In fact, they actively disrespect other religions, cultures, and ethnicities. If you invite such people into your home, expect them to destroy it. So Europe may be doomed. Many believe so. They have certainly made a mess of things, and they don't even seem to recognize it. So we here in the US, we don't need you guys telling us how we need to vote in our elections, because maybe, just maybe, we don't want to end up like you. Well, that's it for me. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much that isn't so. Good night.
The destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. There's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty.